Amy's elder sister Vicky gave her this shopping list and asked her to get some groceries. Amy took the list without even looking at it, but when she arrived at the supermarket, she realized that her sister had pranked her. Vicky has encoded the names of the products she needed. Can you help Amy figure out what she's supposed to buy? Here's the first product. It's blueberry. What about this one? Watermelon. Can you recognize this food? That's right, it's kiwi. Here's the next rebus. Can you crack this code? Grape. What about this one? Pineapple. Great job. Next riddle. Any ideas? Vicky needs some bananas. And how about this food? That's right, Amy should buy some oranges. And here's the final product. Can you figure out what it is? Lemon. Amy took everything she needed and headed to the cashier. He said,
"I'll give you a 90% discount if you manage to solve my riddle."
Amy agreed. Here's the riddle.
If you had 3 apples and 4 oranges in one hand, and 4 apples and 3 oranges in the other hand, what would you have?
Can you help Amy crack this riddle to save some money? Try to think outside the box. Obviously, you must have very large hands to hold all this. Amy left the supermarket and headed home, but suddenly she realized that she'd left her wallet at the checkout. She ran back to the supermarket, but the wallet was nowhere to be found. Amy questioned 3 people standing nearby. Bob, the cashier, said, "Sorry, I didn't see your wallet. I had the other customers." One of the customers, Kim, said, "I think I saw the cleaner take your wallet from the checkout after you'd left." And the cleaner, Nancy, said,
"Who do you think I am? I need this job to support my family."
Who stole the wallet? It was Kim. She's holding her own wallet in her hand. But there's also Amy's wallet hidden in her boot. Amy didn't want to waste her time, so she told Kim, "I won't call the police if you give me back my wallet and crack my riddle." Kim agreed. Here's the riddle. Can you name 4 days which start with the letter T? It was Kim's lucky day because she managed to solve this riddle. What was her reply? Tuesday, Thursday, today, and tomorrow. Amy, Vicky, and their boyfriends Josh and Greg went hiking and got lost. They wandered around the forest for a few hours and found this sign. There were 3 paths through the forest. The first one would take them to a toxic swamp. No one has ever returned from that swamp alive. Hungry tigers were blocking the second road, and to use the third path, the guys had to cross an ice-cold mountain river. Which way is the safest? The third one. See this sign? It says the river is only 20 inches deep. They can easily cross it. It got dark very fast. While the friends were still trying to find a way to cross the river, their phones had run out of battery and they only had one torch. The river is too risky to cross without any lighting. If all 4 people started crossing the river at the same time, the torchlight wouldn't be enough. Plus, each person would be crossing the river at a different speed. Amy would need only 1 minute. Vicky would do it in 2 minutes. Josh would need 7 minutes, and Greg, 10 minutes. What's the shortest time needed for all friends to cross the river? Usually, people jump to the conclusion that the fastest person should guide everyone. In this case, Amy would have to accompany Greg. It'd take 10 minutes. Then she would need 1 minute to come back. She'd guide Josh across the river. It'd take 7 minutes. Then Amy would spend 1 minute to return for Vicky and make the final 2-minute walk across the river. In this case, the entire process would take 21 minutes. But our task is to minimize the time. That's why we should find a way for the slowest people to walk together. So here's the correct order. Amy and Vicky cross the river, which takes them 2 minutes. Then Vicky comes back. That's another 2 minutes. Greg and Josh take the torch from Vicky and go across the river. It takes them 10 minutes. Then Amy comes back with the torch, takes Vicky, and they cross the river together. That's 3 minutes. In this case, the total time will be 17 minutes. After crossing the river, the guys meet a woodsman. He promises to guide them out of the forest if they solved his riddle. What do an island and the letter T have in common? After the friends answered, the woodsman explained to them how to find the bus stop and disappeared. What did they say? The letter T and the island are both in the middle of the water. It took a while to find the bus station, and the guys got hungry. That's why they decided to buy some food. But only one of these vending machines is safe to use. Can you tell which one? Someone scribbled "cash eater" on this vending machine, so it's probably not working. Cockroaches are crawling all over the food inside this machine. The guys should use the second vending machine. When the bus arrived, the guys realized that they didn't have enough cash to buy the tickets, but the driver was very generous. He said, "I'm gonna give you a free ride if you crack my riddle. It's very simple. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Amy solved this riddle right away. What about you? Because when it was hungry, 7 ate 9. The guys took their seats on the bus. Can you find anything weird here? This elderly lady is transparent. She's a ghost. When Amy and Vicky returned home, they discovered that someone had robbed their house. The girls called the police. Detectives questioned 3 neighbors. Mary said, "Last week, my husband Rick and I were sunbathing in the Maldives. Rick got sunburned, and we had to go back home earlier. We've just come from the airport." Love said, "I think I saw a suspicious guy in a hoodie near your house a few hours ago." Joanna said, "My boyfriend and I celebrated our anniversary in a restaurant. We've just returned home." Who's lying? Mary. She said that Rick had gotten sunburned, but now he looks perfectly fine, and he doesn't look tanned either. Amy decided to get a new job to save some money for college. She sent her resume to the local bank and received an invitation for a job interview. The HR manager offered her a riddle to challenge her logical thinking. Imagine you have an unlimited number of coins in your wallet. What's the minimum number of coins you'll need to make sure that each of these coins will touch exactly 3 others? Can you help Amy get the job? The correct answer is 4. She should place 3 coins flat on the table so that they form a triangle and their edges touch each other. And then she can put the 4th coin in the middle on top of the rest. Amy got the job in the bank. After her first day at work was over, she went home. But on her way home, she realized she'd forgotten her phone in the bank. So she went back and took her phone. Suddenly, the girl heard some weird noise coming from the bank vault. She went there and saw these 3 men inside the room. She noticed that one of them was an imposter right away. What about you? Can you spot him? The 3rd guy doesn't belong here. Look, he's wearing a police badge. He must be working undercover. The robbers ran away and locked Amy and the police officers inside the vault. Now they have to solve this riddle to unlock the door. They have to find a way to connect these 9 stars by using just 4 lines, all without lifting their hand even once. Can you help them find the right way? Such a task requires creativity, and this shape meets all requirements. But maybe you came up with something better. Amy bought flowers for her sister's birthday. She was walking down the street holding the bouquet in her hands. Suddenly, a man in a mask ran up to her, grabbed the flowers, and ran to the nearest restaurant. Amy started crying. A patrol car stopped next to her. Amy told the police officer what had happened. They went to the restaurant together to find the criminal. There were 4 men with very similar bouquets. Can you tell who robbed Amy? This guy. Amy's bouquet was tied with purple ribbon. Vicky organized a birthday party. To avoid uninvited guests, she asked the security guard to set a special password, but her boyfriend Harry, who was most definitely not invited, developed a plan that could help him enter the party. He hid near the door and started to listen attentively. When the first guest arrived, the guard said 12. The guest answered with 6. Then the second guest arrived, and the guard said 6. The guest replied with 3. Harry thought he'd heard enough and walked up to the guard. The man said 8, and Harry replied with 4. After hearing this answer, the guard asked Harry to leave. Why? Because the password is not half the number. It's the number of letters in the word. He should have said 5 because the word 8 consists of 5 letters. Can you count the number of squares in this image? The correct answer is 40. I have a math workout for you today, but first, let's have a little warm-up. How many ducks do you see in this picture? Don't forget about the hidden ones. There are 15 ducks. Did you find them all? Okay, now count all the flowers. Right, there are 17 of them. Can you spot 3 differences between these photos? Here they are. And another one. There are 3 differences again. Do you see them? Okay, here they are. Good job. Okay, now a bit of math for you. Look at this picture. The only number multiplied by itself that gives 25 is 5, so this shape equals 5. This way, the other shape from the second equation is 4. 4 and 6 make 10, so the red circle equals 6. Then, 5 multiplied by 6 gives us 30. This one is similar, but a bit harder, so be very attentive. Okay, 3 pairs of sneakers make 30. Then 1 pair equals 10. Then 1 cat with a whistle must be 5. In this case, 2 whistles equal 4, so 1 whistle is 2. Now the last one. A pair of sneakers is 10. We know that a cat with a whistle is 5, but this kitty doesn't have a whistle. But since a whistle is 2, the cat without a whistle must be 3. And a whistle equals 2. So, it's 10 plus 3 multiplied by 2, which is 16. Ava and Dakota are sisters. When Dakota was 18, Ava was half her age. Now that Dakota is 26, how old is Ava? When Dakota was 18, Ava was 9, so the age difference between the sisters is 9 years. If Dakota is 26 now, then Ava is 17. When Polaris was 16 years old, her mother was 39. If Polaris's mom is twice her daughter's age, how old is Polaris? The age difference between Polaris and her mother is 23 years. That means now, Polaris is 23 and her mom is 46. Yvonne had a big collection of CDs. One day, she decided to clean up her house and counted that she had 172 CDs. She sold them all except for 7 CDs of her favorite singer and 5 CDs of her favorite band. How many CDs does Yvonne have now? Well, if she gave up all but 7 plus 5, it leaves her with 12 CDs. In PE class, all students were standing in a circle. If the 5th student was exactly opposite the 12th student, how many students were in the circle? Between student number 5 and student number 12, there are 6 other students. If these two are opposite each other, then on the other side between them, there are also 6 students. This makes 14 students in the circle. Danica owns a candy store. She sells candy for $0.12 a dozen. How many candy pieces can you get if you have $1? $0.12 for a dozen mean that one candy costs 1 cent. So if you have $1, you can get 100 candies. For casting a spell, Flora should put these stones in the correct order. She has 4 of them: purple, green, red, and blue. The instruction says, 1. The red one only has 1 stone next to it. 2. The green and purple stones aren't next to each other. 3. The green stone is the last one. Can you help Flora? If the red stone only has 1 other stone next to it, then it's either the first one or the last one. But since green is the last one, then red is the first one. If the green and purple stones aren't next to each other, then there's the blue stone between them. So, the correct order is red, purple, blue, and green. It was midday. Kaylin was exploring a big local forest. She found an abandoned mansion and entered it. The door closed behind her back and wouldn't open.
Oh no!
Kaylin got trapped inside. There were 3 other doors leading to freedom, but there was a catch. Behind the first door, there was a huge pit that would take her miles underground. Behind the second door, there was a magnifying glass that concentrated sunlight and burned everybody and everything that entered. Behind the third door, there was a hungry and dangerous lion that would eat anybody and anything that entered.
Uh-oh.
How can Kaylin escape? Kaylin should wait until sunset. When the sun goes down, the second door with the magnifying glass won't be dangerous anymore. Amelia, Belle, Chloe, and Della are identical quadruplets who always prank people. One day, one of the girls' teachers had to let Amelia leave the class early. She had a doctor's appointment, but the woman wasn't sure which girl was Amelia. The quadruplets had decided to help her. Here is what they said. Amelia is one of the girls standing in the middle. No, Amelia is one of the girls standing on the sides. I'm Amelia. I'm not Amelia. 3 girls lied and 1 told the truth. Who is Amelia? If Amelia is the first girl, then 2 girls told the truth, the second and the fourth ones. If Amelia is the second girl, then the first and the fourth girls told the truth. If Amelia is the third girl, then the first and the third ones told the truth. But if Amelia is the fourth girl, then only the second girl told the truth. So, Amelia must be the fourth girl. Esme was having a walk in the forest and got lost. She found a witch's house, petted her black cat, and asked the witch to send her home. The witch wanted to play a game. If Esme won, she'd send her home. But if Esme lost, she'd have to stay with the witch forever.
We'll be saying numbers between 1 and 10. The next player will have to choose a number that's between 1 to 10 greater than the previous one. The first person to say 50 wins. You can start.
How can Esme win? If she wants to say 50, she needs the witch to say a number between 40 and 49. So, before 50, she has to say 39. If she wants to say 39, the witch has to say a number between 29 and 38. So, Esme has to say 28, and before that, 17, and before that, 6. So Esme must start with 6 and then say 17, 28, 39, and 50. Cassidy woke up in a dungeon and couldn't remember what happened to her. She needed to get out, but the door was locked and required a password. Can you guess what the password is? Every next number is made by moving the last digit of the previous 4 to the front. So, the password must be 4728. Mrs. Davies is an elderly lady telling a story of her life.
After I lived 1/4 of my life, I got my first car. I married 1/12 of my life later. 1/6 of my life later, I started a business. 1/4 of my life later, I got my first granddaughter. She just turned 18.
How old is Mrs. Davies? Let's say Mrs. Davies is X years old. 1/4 of her life, till she gets her first car, X is 4. Then we add 12 till her marriage. X till opening her business, 4 till the birth of her granddaughter, and finally 18 years from then till now. It should all be equal to X. If you solve this equation, you'll figure out that X is equal to 72. So, Mrs. Davies must be 72 years old. Esme was walking in the forest, and you know what? She didn't get lost this time. She knew how to get home, but the other road led to the witch's house, and the girl recently came up with a cool riddle for the witch. So, Esme decided to pay her a visit. She offered a deal. If the witch couldn't solve her riddle, Esme would get her cat. The witch agreed, and Esme gave her a square piece of paper, 4 inches by 4 inches, with a total area of 16 square inches.
Turn it into a square with a total area of 8 square inches without a ruler.
How can the witch do it? The witch should fold the 4 corners of the square towards the middle. This way, she'll get a square that is exactly twice as small as the original one. Apparently, the witch gets to keep her cat this time. There's a box filled with balls of different colors, 5 red ones, 8 blue ones, and 11 purple ones. Allison has a tricky task. Blindfolded, she has to keep picking up balls until she's sure that she has balls of at least 2 different colors. What's the minimum number of balls she should pull out of the box? In the worst-case scenario, Allison will be picking up balls of the same color until there are no more of them left in the box. The majority of balls are purple, so if she picks up a purple ball every single time, it'll be 11 balls. And only after that will she get a ball of a different color. So, she should pick up 12 balls.
Hey, let's see how attentive you are. Now, you see these logos every day, but can you tell which one is correct? Let's start with Pringles. Which one do you choose? The correct logo is on the right. The original Pringles guy doesn't have a mouth, he only has a mustache. So how does he eat them? What about a Tesla logo? The correct one is on the left. Coca-Cola. What do you think? Right, that's an extra detail. The left logo is correct. Look at these 2 Sprite logos very closely. What's your choice? The left one, of course. And what about Pepsi? The correct color combination is on the left. You know the TikTok logo, don't you? There we go. The blue outline is at the top, while the red one at the bottom. Are you into online shopping? Duh. Can you spot the suitable eBay logo? The correct color sequence is red, blue, yellow, and green. What about AliExpress? Orange and red? Or maybe red and orange? Ah, this one. You probably recognize the Amazon logo. That's an extra detail. The left logo is correct. Look at these 2 Etsy logos. Which one is fake? The space between letters is too large in the left logo, and the right one is okay. What about everyone's favorite Netflix? These 2 seem identical, but they're not. The correct font is over here. Can you recognize the Crayola logo? Here it is. Let's move on and check your knowledge of clothing brands. Can you spot the correct Tommy Hilfiger logo? It's on the left, white and red. What about Lacoste? The crocodiles are identical, but the correct font is over here. Zara. What's your choice, right or left? The right one is correct. What about Gap? The correct one is on the left. American Eagle Outfitters. Which way does the eagle look? To the left, of course. What about Forever 21? What's your choice? The right logo is correct. Can you recognize Coach? Of course you can. It's this one. You probably recognize the correct H&M logo. Here it is. And what about Puma? Which wildcat silhouette is correct? This one. Which one of these Banana Republic logos truly exists? There it is. Now let's move on to guess. What's your guess? The left one? Yep. The distance between the letters is way too large in the right logo. What can you say about Tom Ford, left or right? Ah, this one. Can you recognize Hermes? It's this one. What about Kappa? The silhouettes of two people shouldn't be identical. That's why the original logo is on the right. Let's take a look at these two Converse logos. What's your choice? The left logo is correct. Converse Star has 5 points. What about Uniqlo? Yep, the left one is correct. This one is very easy, isn't it? Walmart logo has 6 rays, not 5. Can you recognize Crocs logo? This one, of course. No mistake can be made when it comes to Target, right? The correct proportions of circles are here. Next one is New Balance. The right one is true. And now, let's take a look at North Face. Any ideas? The correct logo should have 3 arcs. Let's move on and check the BMW logo. What's your choice? It's the left one. Can you recognize Ford? The left one is true. One more car here. What about Subaru? It was a tough one. The correct logo is on the right. Do you like fast food? The next logo is Subway. So, white and yellow or yellow and white. That's right, white and yellow. You've probably seen the Reddit logo quite a few times. The right one is correct. MasterCard. Any ideas? The right one, of course. What about the NBC logo? Do you remember the correct color sequence? Yellow, orange, and red plus purple, blue, and green. Look at these two Huawei logos. Which one is fake? Only the left one is correct. It should have 8 petals. Let's move on. Left or right? Alibaba has an orange logo. Do you remember the Firefox logo? The right one is correct. What about Dunkin' Donuts? The right one. Dunkin' is orange and Donuts is pink. Our next one is Taco Bell. This shape is wrong. The bell must be placed in an arch. What about Twix? Yeah, the right one. And what do you think about these two? In the original Skittles logo, rainbow colors go from red to purple. Can you recognize everyone's favorite Oreo cookies logo? This one, of course. Facebook, left or right? The right one is correct. What about YouTube? You probably see this logo every day. It's the first logo. Look at these two Cheetos logos. Can you spot the fake one? It's over here. The letters should have orange outlines instead of red. Now, let's make the task a little harder. Which one of these Burger King logos is original? Logo 3. What about Pizza Hut? There it is. Any ideas about KFC? Logo 4 is correct. Let's move on to Starbucks. There's only one original logo among these 4 options. Which one? The first one. What about Lipton? Logo 2 is correct. It has the right shade of yellow. And which one of these M&M's logos truly exists? Logo 2. Can you find the original Bounty logo? The third option is correct. You've probably been to IKEA at least once in your lifetime, but do you remember its logo? The fourth one. Can you recognize Colgate? Alright, it's the first logo. What about Oral-B? The second one is correct. Can you spot the original Blendamed? There it is. Enough with toothpaste. Now let's move on to Garnier. What's your choice? The third option is correct. Can you find the original Sephora logo? Logo 3 is correct. What about Maybelline? Any ideas? Here it is. Can you recognize the original NYX logo? The second one is correct. Can you find the original Visa logo? Don't peep into your wallet. Here it is. I bet you'll recognize Google even with your eyes closed. The second option. Can you find the original Apple? Here it is. What about Microsoft? Do you remember the correct color sequence? Here it is. Red, green, blue, and yellow. Nestle. There are 3 birds in the original logo. The third option is correct. Your subconscious mind probably remembers Nescafe logo in detail. Yeah, this one over here. Are you a sweet tooth? Also? Can you recognize Nesquik? Here it is. What about Milky Way? Ah, the third option is correct. Let's try Kit Kat. Any ideas? This one is correct. What about Kraft Singles? Yep, the first option is correct. Can you find the original Tropicana? The second option is correct. How about Hershey's Kisses? Option 4 is correct. Baskin-Robbins. Only the second option has the correct spelling. What about Halls? The first option is correct. Let's move on and check the Krispy Kreme Donuts logo. Any ideas? The fourth logo is correct. Lay's. What's your choice? Only the third option is correct. What about Belvita? This logo is correct. And what can you say about the Mars logo? Only the first one is correct. What about Walt Disney? Can you find the right castle? The fourth logo is original. Everybody knows the Orbit logo, right? Can you spot the original graphics? Here it is. Do you like gum? Then it won't be hard for you to find the correct Doublemint logo. The third option is correct. Any ideas about Mentos? The second logo is original. And what about Wendy's? Which portrait decorates the logo? The third lady is original. And finally, Instagram. This one is tricky because all the four logos look almost identical. This one is correct. Now let's check if you can recognize a brand even if we remove its name from the logo. Does this piece of contemporary art remind you of anything? Can you feel any magic scent? That's right, it's Jacob's. What about this one? Seven Days. Can you recognize this brand? It's DHL. Next one. Does this image remind you of something? Do you like juice? That's right, it's Del Monte. Can you recognize this one? It's Juicy Juice. This one is tough, but I believe in you. It's Boar's Head. What about this logo? Let me give you a hint. Chocolate, caramel, and pecans. That's right, it's turtles. Take a look at this yellow stuff. Any associations? Starburst. Can you recognize this logo? That's right, it's Tuck. Take a look at this image. Any ideas? It's NASA. Good job!